Old Lavaca County Jail. Built in 1885, this location is Texas's second longest continuously operating jail. Though vacant since 2005, these cells are anything but empty. Metal doors slam shut, distant, ongoing conversations can be heard, and even the jolt of a physical touch can be felt. The paranormal experiences in this 137-year-old building are no laughing matter, even though disembodied laughter can be heard. Welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. Hello, everybody. Wow, I'm really close to the camera.
You are really close to the camera.
Can you
Hi,
see
you
my
guys.
floors? Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Everything Vaguely Paranormal for this week. We are going to be talking about the old Lavaki.
Lavaki, what's the you've been drinking?
Words are hard tonight, okay? We're going to get through this. We're just going to power through. The Old Lavaca County Jail in Hallettsville, Texas. As always, I am Blake Smith with my friends, Miss Shelley Pruitt and Mr. Ryan Roberts. We want to welcome y'all back. We're going to dive right into this because we got special freaking guests for y'all. We are so excited.
Now, if you have ever been to the old haunted Lavaca County Jail, you know these two ladies.
Oh, yeah.
They are fantastic. They will run around with you if you want, or they will just step back and let you let the spirits, you handle the spirits. They'll wait for you out here in case you need to run out and run away. And they are so much fun. And I got to tell you, I have had some really cool experiences at the Lavaca County Jail. Now, Blake, I believe you've been once. Ryan, you've been once.
Yep.
I've been there 4 times. And I have to tell you, I don't usually turn chicken shit. But the next to last time I was there, I opted not to sleep in the building. I went and slept in my car about 4:30. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to take a nap in my car. I'm going to nap in my car.
And that's saying something for you because
I don't ever leave.
No.
I don't. And just, y'all, I felt like I was going to get shanked. That's the honest truth. I'm like, yeah, because I'd gone up there and I kind of ran my mouth a little bit. And I thought, oh, yeah, they're waiting for me to go sleep. They're like, let this bitch go to sleep. We're going to cut a bitch. And I'll be like, oh, hell. I think I'll go take a nap in the car. Funniest thing, on my way home, because, I told you, I felt like I was going to get shanked or something. My tire pressure started going down, 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 down. Like within 20 minutes of leaving the vodka. And I pulled over. I look at it. There's a piece of glass in my tire like that I had to pick up on my way out because it started going down too quickly. But not at the jail, but like on my way out of jail. And I'm like, yeah, something's trying to shank me. It just got my tire.
Well, I got told myself to leave the room, and you'll see that later on tonight. So, but anyways, without further ado, let's bring them on. Let's get them on the screen. We have with us the property manager and assistant property manager. Deborah Foss is the property manager of the haunted Old Lavaca County Jail, and Lisa Franks is the assistant property manager at the old haunted Lavaca County Jail. Words are so hard tonight. I've got it. I'm
Lavaca County Jail.
Thank you so much.
We'll let her tell us too.
Y'all, please welcome Deborah and Lisa. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, welcome.
Hey guys, Thank you for having us on tonight.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Joining us.
We were so excited to get you. I was so excited whenever you agreed to come on, and I'm like calling him, going, guys, they said they'd come on with us. I was so excited. I tend to nerd out about stuff like that. So I think one of the things we definitely want to know is that you guys are there all the time. So, Deborah, give me a little bit of history about the place. Tell me what you know about the location. Because, child, I'm not a history buff, but.
When I first got there, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know there was a jail in Hallettsville, but I'd been up here doing some work with some friends, and they mentioned it to me. And I said, so, the county still own it? No, some private guy bought it about a year ago, but they didn't know who. So I got on and found him in like 5 minutes, made a call, and said, man, can I come and investigate your old jail? And he is really not hip to the paranormal or knows anything about it or anything. And we ended up talking for a couple of hours, and he's like, I don't really know anything about that, but I'm intrigued by it now. And so anyway, he agreed to let me and my partner at the time, John Denmeyer, come and spend the night there. And of course, he wouldn't stay with us, but I mean,
I don't blame him.
He's very not into the paranormal at all. So yeah.
I mean, his place was nasty. It'd been empty for 10 years. Twice it had been flooded with 8 feet of water, 1940 and 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 8 feet inside the building. The whole
entire
town
downstairs
of Hallettsville
basically
was flooded. So it's had these 2 catastrophic floods. The last one they didn't bother cleaning up after. I mean, we moved cabinets and found piles of mud that had been there for 10 years.
Wow.
So anyway, it was a lot of cleanup. We worked on it for about a year. I mean, he had bought it for like a long-term restoration project, had no time to work on it. I had so much happen to me the first night or 2 I was there. I was just, I'm not leaving here. So I never left, and started doing restoration work for him when I could on my weekends off. And after about a year, we had it cleaned up enough, electricity, water restored, restrooms, nice enough place that I myself as an investigator would feel comfortable spending the night there and blah, blah. So after about a year, we started letting paranormal groups come in.
That's the spirit.
Oh my God,
screaming.
my cat is in heat.
It's
screaming.
Sorry.
You're all right. We knew that was going to happen. I think
I
it's
did try
interesting
to
how
give you a heads up and everything. But
Yeah, we got some very in heat kitty over here. So
I think it's
Sorry.
interesting how during the whenever we were talking to you right before we went live, we never heard that cat. But the cat wanted to be part of the show, and it's totally fine.
Yeah,
I know. I said if you hear it, at least you'll know what it is.
it's like maybe someone out there has a cat that wants it too.
Anyway, when I got to the jail, I really knew no history other than it was built in 1885 and closed in 2005. And as luck would have it, people would just pull in that I needed in my life. People that have been a sheriff there for 30 years or been this or that. I'm like, please come in, talk to me.
We're imprisoned there.
Yeah. Oh, we've had a lot of those former prisoners and prisoners' families and just real good. I really delved deep into the history when I wasn't working on the jail. I was reading about the jail. And now that we found 23 public hangings that took place there. There was once a gallows that stood adjacent to the front of the jail in the area of the what do you call it? The garage we have out
Where
there.
we used to sleep
Where we used to
until
sleep
she bought the farm.
Old EMS. It was somewhere in that area, probably where we sleep.
Where we slept.
Yeah, 'cause we've had a lot of stuff happen there too. And
Yes, we did.
You can sleep in that room now because we moved out. But
Hot dog. When can I
I
come?
know, right?
yeah, right?
Yeah, 'cause I think the last time that I was there, you guys were still living in that little annex over to the
yeah, we
side.
would stay there at
Yes.
night because we live in Houston, and we got to do everything in the morning. So yeah, it's costly to get. We already don't make any money doing this, but to have to pay to get a hotel room just wasn't reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I bought the farm, and you're on your own.
And I got a room here and my own
You have
bathroom,
your
so
own
we're all
bed.
set up. We're good. We don't have to stay in the scary jail anymore, so we're good.
Well, a question that I have, you mentioned when you bought the property, or when you but when you were working on the property, you had a bunch of things happen to you in the first couple of nights you were there. What was the first experience that you had in the jail?
we walked in the jail, and at that time, I mean, the hallways that we eventually took everything out of, I mean, you used to have paneling down the hallways. That's all bowed out.
Like that old 70s.
3 feet of
paneling.
concrete dust everywhere. So you're waiting through this. We didn't spend much time looking at that. We wanted to see the cells. So we go straight upstairs. As we're at the top of the stairs, you can hear what sounds like 3 or 4 girls just giggling out loud, like little girls would giggle, but you knew they weren't. Just and it was John and I. And I said, "Oh, they're," yeah, and he's a CO. I said, "Oh, they're excited to see you," and blah blah.
I think it's pretty cute too. So,
Yeah, it's pretty cute. But I mean, that first night, I do a lot of ITC stuff, and we were doing ghost boxing. I mean, the responses that we would get were incredible. We got told to buck up, get out. I don't know how many times. Leave. No. We were in the upstairs women's side, and he and
I'm just going to show some pictures while you're talking about it because I have some pictures of that stuff.
So you were in the upstairs women's side. Blake, are you pulling up a picture of that?
Yeah,
I'm
pulling up. I'm trying to find the right one.
Yeah, we were sitting in that little day room area there, and we would hear like footsteps shuffling down the hallway. At one point, really felt the cold breeze kind of around you, and this is in May, so it's not like cold out, but it was pretty warm actually. And we started hearing banging, and John's like, "That was a cell door." There was nothing else like that. It was a cell door. I'm like, cool. But we went from hearing the kind of the banging on the cells to the top of the cells are all metal, and they're not all the way to the ceiling. Maybe I think they're 6 feet. It sounded like something leapt from the ground on top of that and started stomping. And I've been around a lot. I've been to a lot of places. I ain't never experienced any shit like that. So I was like suddenly not ready for that. But I'm telling you, man, in the first night we were there, we had more experiences and evidence than the last year and a half of going to different places. I mean, good places, Bobby Mackey's, Elizabeth Axe murder. I mean, this place, it was just like boom, 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 one thing after another. So I was super excited about it. I told my husband I'm going to retire from my medical practice and work on this jail for no money. And yeah.
I'm sure he was delighted to hear that.
And he eventually evolved into
a happy wife, happy life. He knows.
So we spent a lot of years commuting back and forth, but eventually timing was right for us to buy this farm and be out in the country and close to the jail. So it's like 15 minutes from the jail.
Awesome.
Oh, it is. It is really cool. Next time you guys come up, you have to come out to the farm.
Absolutely.
Chickens and goats. And
we got baby
we'll
goats and chickens and a really big mean rooster
and
named Rose.
Big Brahma bull next door.
I always like big mean cocks. They're my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, me too.
I have a Brahma rooster that's coming up to my waist. He's huge. Sometimes he'll get mad and come running up behind me and kick me.
She whacks it with a broom. It's
That's what you got to do.
Right in front of the girls.
Yeah, if your cock gets out of line, hit it with a broom.
That's right.
I think we've made the gentleman extremely uncomfortable in this moment. It's okay, guys. You'll be fine. So one of my favorite places in Lavaca County Jail is I guess it would be the sheriff's room. Is that what you call it? The sheriff's room?
Sheriff's office, sheriff's bedroom.
Sheriff's bedroom. Now, I like the sheriff's office because let me tell you something very cool about the sheriff's office. Deborah and Lisa have put in there, you can put on a sheriff's jacket and a sheriff's hat, and you can put on an inmate uniform if you like to role play. And you know, I'm all about a good
Some
costume.
handcuffs, girl. We love to role play up in there.
I brought my own up in there. I didn't need to borrow y'all's. It was all good. But I am all about a good costume, and I'm telling you, every time I've been there, I have had someone put on those, and it's interesting if you have them walk them upstairs and put them in a cell. That activity, and I think that's brilliant. I think that's a fun little piece that's in there. But I have to tell you a story, and I don't know if you guys know this story about your jail. In the sheriff's bedroom. In the sheriff's bedroom, there was a lady, and she had her 2 granddaughters with her. And this lady was a gamer. She was all about, she was playing, she was fun, she was going to do whatever. And one of her granddaughters, I said, sometimes the sheriff gets frisky. We've had reports of, females being touched in this room. And so the lady lays down on the bed and she's like, oh, well, they must not like me. And then her granddaughter lays down on the bed. And I said, well, let me just step out here in the hallway and give y'all the room, give you a little privacy. This girl yells, jumps up, and she goes, oh my God, something just unhooked my bra. And her grandmother rushes up the back of her shirt, and her bra was unhooked. She said, oh girl, let me get this fixed. Something unhooked her bra.
Up in there, no doubt about
we
it.
do have some pervert. We got growled at in the bed. I'd love to get my bra unhooked.
What
the hell?
Yeah, she prays for the incubus succubus
I
action.
just touch me, please.
So, Deborah, have you had reports of that in there, other than people getting touched, or have you had an experience of being touched in there?
Wow.
There's a story there.
I've captured growls coming from what sounded like it was inside the closet in that room. So I put a recorder in there one night, and what I got was, let me out. I'm like, oh, no, you're good. You're staying right there, wherever you are. But then I've had other groups come up, listen to what we got. I'm like, where are we at? The sheriff's bedroom? Yeah. A lot of people get that in there. There was a morning when the big white bed that's in there is an old bed. I've had it stored, antique bed for 100 years, and brought it up there because we needed a antique looking bed. So anyway, it's an old bed with the slats and everything. So I want to make sure that it doesn't collapse on anybody. So we're in there putting deck screws in it and everything and get it all together. I told Lisa, well, let's
snuggle on it.
Snuggle, spoon on it. Make sure it's comfortable for people to actually sleep on. Yeah. Because we're all about comfort.
And we're laying there spooning, minding our own business.
Just 30 seconds we're laying there. And this growl starts up right next to her and gets louder. And I've never heard anything like it.
It was so loud.
She's like, is that outside? I said, no, it's right there next to you. And I'm still laying there. And she's like, doesn't that bother you in the slightest? And I said, yeah, it does bother me. Don't fucking growl at me. I'm nice, y'all. Don't start that shit. I looked at her. I said, yeah, we are out of here right now. This is 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We've had so many things happen in the middle of the day.
It is so active in the morning and in the daytime. People think that, oh, you just have to ghost hunt at night. Bullshit.
Not us. If it's haunted, it's haunted all day long.
The downstairs and the downstairs cells from like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. are just bumping. So, it's really beneficial. And we tell people, it's fun to come book a night, but book the whole weekend because you get it for, the whole weekend.
Yeah,
and
if you book the weekend, you're there from 5 o'clock Friday till Sunday morning.
You get to experience the stuff that, during the day that happens. And people just don't think that, it's during the day.
You certainly get, I'm sure, a lot of the residual stuff. Like, you'll hear the sound like breakfast being served, parked going down the hallway and stuff. But we've had so many just what was that?
I have no idea.
Interactive things where, it's something intelligent. It's not just residual.
Totally communicating with us, like talking to us down the hallway and us responding.
Yeah, we're walking down the hallway one day and it's like, hey, where are you going?
It's like, over here. Okay. It's like it has like a normal conversation with you. It's very strange, but that happens a lot
the night
during the day in the main hallway.
When somebody came in that front door that we'd locked.
So we thought somebody came through the front door because it was locked.
And we were in the downstairs cells and she said, who is that?
It sounded like the front door flew open and you hear a woman's voice go, hey. And I'm like, who the fuck is in here?
Now, are you talking about those big, heavy wooden doors?
But she yells at him and, hey, we're coming.
And it responds to me. It's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. And it's like, all right. It's like we're having a conversation. And it was loud, full tilt.
Wow.
But some of the disembodied voices I've heard in there aren't really loud. Yes, louder than I would think they would be.
Right.
But,
well, do you find that because it was a jail, do you find that there is like almost like a prison mentality amongst the entities there? Like if they can get you and get your goat, they'll mess with you more so than.
I would say that's not the majority, but certainly a few. But we have like
Cody.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Cody.
Excuse me.
my first real experiences there with like, just the mischievous stuff, it was like this guy would just mess with me and do mindfuck things is all I can say. I don't know. Something would disappear, end up locked in my car that I hadn't been into in forever. The whole thing with the lock on the door that fell apart and the parts didn't match. They didn't go to that.
Yeah. I mean, really weird. Just shit. Yeah.
And it seemed like he was out to get me. I was outside one day, and the whole archway facade piece fell right where I had just stood up from turning the hose on out there. I mean, it would have killed me had it hit me.
Holy shit.
It took out all my plumbing and everything. And at that time, Big Jim was there with me. He was a former deputy whose dad was killed there. And he'd been there helping me with some stuff. He says, I don't think they like you very much. I said, I don't think they like you. I've had nothing this violent so far till you show up. So after that, I went through the cells and after he left and apologized for letting him be there and tried to explain to them, he was here back in the day and a lot of people may have some bad memories, but he's helping me right now and just suck it up. And I'm trying to fix a place up for you and let's be nice and play around or play along. But sometime after that, there were a lot of things that happened related to the guy that we always pinned on Cody. But as time went on and we had a really good psychic there one night that came out to tell me, this guy wants me to tell you his name's not Mindfuck, his name's Cody.
We kept calling him Mindfuck because that's what it was.
It was Mindfuck kind of shit. And she goes, he wants you to know that he really appreciates you, really likes you. I said, tell him, fuck you. I hate him. He has made my life a living hell. And if he really liked me, and anyway, long story short, she knew some of the things that happened. And she said, a lot of these things that he's done to you, he's done to scare you, to get you out of there, because there's a darker force in there that he will not go up against. When he sees that around you is when he starts up to try to get you scared enough to leave the building because he doesn't want that around you.
Which has happened.
Which has happened.
Yeah.
Well,
granted, some things he does just for fun because he likes seeing you pissed off and you cuss a lot.
I think he's a young, cute little cowboy, like on Thelma and Louise, and Brad Pitt. That's what I picture him as. And he just loves grandma and, he just likes fucking with her, but he's very protective of her.
But him and one of the early sheriffs that was there, Sheriff John Hutchins, I mean, we've gotten so much confirmation about that probably being him through EVPs and ghost box sessions.
He has a very protective spirit. I mean, you can feel him.
Now, you said it tries to warn you that something darker is around. Do you know what or who that darker entity is?
I've got his
big
address
ball
and
of
everything.
ugly. No.
I mean, the jail, I've never really felt like it was an ominous, like demonic filled place.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
Just something nasty.
It's a very comfortable place there.
We've left the fucking building.
There have been a few times when, I was in the, at the, where our break room is at the very end of the hallway back there.
Like the back kitchen and stuff.
I was back there mopping one day and heard something at the far end of the hallway where the front doors are now. There used to be a glass entryway there. And looked and thought I saw like what you would think of a shadow person kind of leaning out of the doorway of that parlor room into the hallway where I could see it for a second. And I'm like, yeah. And it's another 10 o'clock in the morning kind of day. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I hear something. And I look back and it's nothing but black, the whole hallway. I couldn't see that doorway.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
Of course, I'm, petrified. But I know I've got to be in this building working all the time, so I got to be the alpha dog here for just a second. And then I'm like 7 feet from the kitchen door in case anything bad happens. It's way down there, so I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. And then it's gone. And I'm like, see, there you go. And then it was like a tornado coming down the hall wind-wise. My hair was standing up, and I'm like, out 2 steps out that door. I didn't go back in there that day. But I mean, other than seeing a few shadow things upstairs. That's probably the closest thing I could call you definitely feel like that's something dark.
Yeah.
I have my own theories about what that is, but I don't know. I haven't had.
What do you think?
Happened a lot, so.
I mean, I think in a place like that where you've had small town justice, suicides, murders, everybody who comes there is sad and distraught and wants out. I mean, there's so much angst and anger and sorrow and sadness, and who knows how people were treated there.
True.
I think when you get into a place that has a lot of spirits that are still there, and this is just me, so I'm no expert, but I think a lot of times people stay trapped in a place like that where they're there because they did bad things, and they're kind of in limbo. They're like, yeah, I know I could leave here, but hell's waiting for me. This ain't good, but it's better than what I'm probably facing if I try to move on. But I think eventually they get to the point where you got to move on. And to do that, you've got to discard all of that negative energy that you have to be able to break that barrier. And I think all that left behind discarded negative energy kind of bands together. So it's not really a person or anything. It's just some dark negative energy that can, in theory, I guess, quantum physics, mechanics, band together into something that you could see as a big dark mass, but as quickly as it came together, break apart. And I guess it's possible for something like that to get stronger and stronger by preying on other spirits or people that are there. Or, I mean,
absolutely.
But overall, I don't really feel like, I mean, there have been very few experiences really that have removed me from the building for a little bit, but sometimes when it's just time to go outside. I mean, we've had experiences where, I mean, oh my God, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Yeah, we're going outside. Yeah. Where you kind of get.
I mean, we're strong people, Deborah and I mean, spiritually and, in the paranormal field. I mean, we both have had a long time. Since I was 11. So, I mean, we've had a lot of experience, and for us to be to get overtaken by something at the same time, and we don't know what the hell's happening, it's time to get out.
It's time to go. Yep.
It's time to get out.
As investigators, I mean, you're lucky if you get some EVPs. Is that an orb, or is that really something?
Dust.
A little shadow thing, or a disembodied voice, but very few people, unless you've been investigating and just been really, really lucky. Do you have that experience of being touched where something's touching you, or you get something right in your ear, Deborah?
Or that boob touch? No,
I debunked that right away.
Can't say I've had that issue.
Really hearing a disembodied voice and knowing you're alone, and that's what that is, and kind of freaks you out if you hadn't had that experience yet. But it's weird how you get desensitized. I mean, when I first started there, and I was there most of the time all by myself. And
until I showed up
at night. I was working there at night because it was cooler outside. There was no electricity, no AC, no running water at that point. I was working out of gallons of water and power inverter with a deep cycle marine battery to run stuff. But yeah, it was rough. But being in there at night made it better because it was cooler. But I'd have every door open, every window open. Instantly made friends with all the police officers in town.
Oh, hell yeah. We love them.
And they loved, most of them had never been in the jail, so that it was a novelty for them to come over and hang out with me at night. I'm like, please, stay the night.
You're like, please, hang out with me.
We got cookies.
We have cookies,
the
that's
things
right.
that used to scare you to death in the beginning, you don't even look up at now. I mean, you don't even notice it.
I mean, for us to get EVPs or disembodied voice, it's kind of, I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but like you say, we're so desensitized to it. It's just not, I don't want to say as exciting, but it's just different.
And we really don't spend much time investigating ourselves because unless we're in there working, we'll leave some recorders going, or usually our experiences are we have nothing going. Nobody would believe this happened. Wish we had that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's paranormal
expecting it,
and there's beyond paranormal. And I mean, there's
That's all
shit
about
that
it,
has
man.
happened that you're like, shut up. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
Well, I mean, I will
Most of the
say,
people who come to the jail, they're there because they become avid fans through Ghost Adventures or whatever the shows are, and they expect certain things, EVPs
To
and
get
stuff.
possessed.
And we've had somebody call, yeah, I was not ready for this. No one is.
Yeah.
But I mean, for us, when things really went to a whole new level, we got to a point we just want it to be haunted again and have somebody reach out and grab me or see a
There
apparition
were
in a
times
hallway
where we were
or
begging for let me just see an apparition again. Just touch me again.
Bring me back to
something,
Boo.
because the shit we were experiencing.
time loss, hearing your voice say things on tape you didn't say.
Seeing her in the
Whoa.
hallway, but she's actually not in the hallway.
Not even there.
Oh,
Uh,
so you had
hearing
doppelganger
each other's
activity.
Showing up in
voices
people's photographs
when we're not
when
even
we're not
there.
with them.
What?
And, oh yeah. So
I
we
did
don't
not
really,
know about that.
because
wow.
we don't talk
We
about
don't
it
talk about this stuff.
because who could wrap their head around some shit like that? Okay.
It's
Right.
Yeah.
paranormal,
And-
and there is beyond paranormal.
I mean,
there is
yes.
interdimensional. You know what I'm saying? And fuck
Mhm.
that bullshit, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm gonna wash your
No,
mouth out.
I
of
swear
soap.
to God. No, they said it was cool. You said we could cuss, so
We're an
Oh,
18
yeah.
plus
It's
show.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
seriously.
But it scared me more than anything else that ever happened to me. And you sit there and you stare at the concrete for 18 hours.
I'm like, I'm
Trying
leaving.
to
I'm gonna
figure
go
it
get a
out.
hotel.
I'm like,
She's
you
like,
ain't
you're
going
not
nowhere.
leaving.
No, you're not going anywhere. We're in this together. And there is no answer, and you're not going to know what happened to you or what that was. My best guess is there's an interdimensional
Very,
aspect there
very
that's
much
not
so.
always there, but
And not even just in the jail, the whole
outside and
property of the
everything, yeah.
jail.
Mm.
And that shit can transform to your house.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say I'm very glad that you guys mentioned the outside of the jail, because
a lot of
there's
things
an
happen out there.
interesting picture
lot.
that a fellow investigator captured of me. I went down and walked by that little creek thing that y'all have back there. I was at the very back
A
of the
little
property.
creepy area.
Yes. And of course, you
Yeah.
know me, I'm like, I'll go stand back there. I don't care. And I go back there, and a fellow investigator starts snapping pictures. And literally, there looks like there's this hooded figure standing behind me in the trees. Now, it could have been pareidolia, but it wasn't in the other pictures. It was in one, but not in the other two. And it literally looks like this huge hooded figure standing behind me. I'm like, is that Death? Well, hey, Death, what's up?
Wouldn't
Come
surprise
back
me.
later. You know,
Well, we spent a lot of time back in there, and we've had weird things happen to that glass jar that
Yes, we
exploded.
have had
It's not
weird
even a
shit
breezy day or
happen.
anything.
And
we heard
EVPs
voices down there,
as
EVPs.
well.
But
Bones. We've got bones down there.
we have,
Oh,
we have
wow.
a mural hanging from the tree. It looks like the Blair Witch
It
Project
does.
back then.
And we're so normal, I swear to
Yeah.
God.
We have this circle
Oh,
of
it sounds
rocks where
like
we
it.
can stand where it's metal detected. There's no barbed wire. If we want to ground ourselves or, have a nature moment. Oh, look, they're witches. I mean, it's grown up. You can't really see it unless I show you that there's, a way down there. But,
Have you
yeah,
found anything like Native American on your property?
I've found lots of coins and metal detect. We do the ditches, tons of old bottles and pottery and just random the old cast iron stove that used to be in one of the rooms of the jail that washed into the creek with the one of the floods, probably the 1941. Lisa found that buried, and we managed to pry the doors off of it, but it's in the mud forever. But we've had a lot of people tell us, and it could be legend, could be true, that back in the early days, a lot of prisoners were shot and drugged to that creek back there and floated down the river. The river used to really be the river right there. And after the 81 flood, the Corps of Engineers came in and did some rerouting of the water. So now it's more like a creek unless we get a lot of rain. But yeah, creepy
Now-
things back there.
Wow.
Do you ever have? I know you said you have people who were former officers, correctional officers, and things of that nature come in there. Do you ever have anybody come back and like tell y'all about stuff that happened to them while they were working at the jail?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
When in 1960, sheriffs always lived in the jail with their families till 1969. Sheriff Dodds and his deputy, Albert Yakubek, were shot and killed by some prisoners they were transporting. And Sheriff or Deputy Yakubek's son went on to become chief deputy of Lavaca County. He's just a wonderful guy. He's like 18 feet tall, and he's like Will Rogers telling stories. And
he didn't like paperwork.
Yeah, he don't like paperwork. So, as luck would have it, another one of my best friends became one of my best friends, and her daughter, Bobby and Big Jim worked together for 33 years. Leanne was Bobby's daughter, but she grew up knowing Big Jim, so all this close-knit stuff. So Bobby and Jim have all these same stories, lived it together and everything. And hearing them talk about some of the shit they did to prisoners and funny stories and hijinks that they would get away with, and I'm like, yeah. And of course, I'm just loving it and recording every bit of it and be noticing him. But
Well, they know now.
he would let me
She's
get by
out.
with,
We're done.
No, actually, it is so fun for me to listen to because, you know, you find out all these stories are true, and then we get more people that used to work there, and I work with Big Jim. Well, he told me about so it's absolutely true, but it's like, man, you guys had so much fun back then.
It must have been a lot of fun.
Thank God there weren't cameras or anything back then. He goes, oh no, we'd all been fired long ago. But, you know, you hear just to hear the stories of the things you knew happened, and I was heavy into researching every custodial death that I could find on state of Texas record books that may have happened there, and we found a few, but there were so many that I knew happened there that were not on the books, and I couldn't find. And when I would ask a couple of former law enforcement people that were there, why can't I find anything like this in public record, even though it says here in the paper I haven't? We don't like paperwork.
There you go. That's all that you need.
Good enough. I won't ask any more private questions like that.
So, Blake, whenever you went, what was the area in Lavaca County Jail? Because of course mine is the sheriff's office. That's the one where I've seen the most stuff. What was the place where you had your most experience? And let's see if Deb and Lisa can validate anything that you might have felt or had happened while you were there.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I can pinpoint it down to just one area. Whenever I went, now I was back when I went back in July of last year. That's when I was there, and I had things happen. I mean, the first thing that happened just on walking in, we were setting up. We just got there, and somehow I wound up as the only person in the main portion, the older portion of the jail.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, I know. And so I'm standing there in that main hallway right by the front door, and it was my not very first, but my most profound disembodied voice experience I'd ever, like the most profound one I'd ever had. And I'm standing there, and I'll pull the picture back up right in that main hallway, so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. And then literally about standing right about in that spot where that picture was taken. And I hear this chatter, and I'm like, who the hell is in here with me? Like, I'm like, I know he's outside. I know he's in the other building. I'm the third and only third person. Like, you know, there's only three. And then I was like, well, maybe they're on the other side of the door. So I take a couple of steps closer to the front door. It's coming from upstairs up in the jail cells. So I walk through the little booking area right there, and I stand just at the bottom of that staircase.
Yeah.
And I'm right about where that picture's taken. And I hear just chatter just going back and forth.
Do they sound like they're just having just a regular conversation, or they sound like they're arguing, or what does the conversation sound like?
It's almost like you're bored, so I'm going to talk to my cellmate and let's pass some time. So they're just jabbering back and forth. That's it.
Can you make it out, or is it like no?
I couldn't ever. I could make out like a hey or a little small word like that, but no, it wasn't ever pronounced enough. But it was audibly loud enough that I could distinct between two different voices happening at the same time. And I'm like, okay, whoo, just like Deborah said, I was like trying to wrap my brain around it. I'm like, somebody still has to be here, I swear. And then I walked back to the
Wait, so you didn't go upstairs and investigate?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I was having a moment, okay?
I would have totally run up there. That's why I should have gone with you. Because I'd have been like, "Oh, you hearing shit? Let's go. We're going upstairs."
I was by myself, and I will say this: I have a hard time doing a lot of stuff by myself. I'm one of those. What if something happens? What if I get jumped? What if I get shoved? What if I get hurt? And I'm up there by myself.
And I'm the idiot that goes charging off by myself. Going,
you are. I have to chase you down.
Yeah, we got to chase your ass down.
Girl, me and you, Shelly. Let's go.
Everybody gets attacked in that closet. Go in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the bait, pretty much.
But I had
go over there. We'll be
outside. Through the rest.
You know, it's funny where you were talking about that front area and hearing that. It's one of my first memories of that place when John and I came up there on Saturday morning. And at that point, that was the only way in, allegedly.
The front door. Yeah.
And it had a real estate.
Allegedly. Please is my favorite word.
Yeah, I know. So we're standing there at the door messing with the combination for the real estate. And we hear people in there talking. And he's like, who's in there? And I'm like, shouldn't be anybody in there. It's all locked up. But we heard comparing notes with each other. You know, it sounds like 3 men. Yeah, it sounds like 3 different voices. So he's a cop. So we go in finally. I'm like, you go that way, I'll go this way. As soon as we come in the door, it sounded like they were in the sheriff's office right behind that booking room. So he's going that way, I'm going this way, and we're chasing the sound, and it's just gone. You couldn't make out. I mean, it was like they were having a regular discussion, but it was all muffled. You couldn't make out any words.
Absolutely.
And you can't get closer to it. You're chasing it, and it's going away from you. But it's like, yeah, there is definitely somebody in there.
And did you hear that upstairs,
Yeah, we heard that too. We were in the where the 911 room used to be, and we heard the front door fly open and someone come just running through there. And we're looking at each other like, what the hell? It was like a Sunday. We were getting ready to go home. So she comes out, goes one way, I go the other. Front door's locked. There's nobody. But we distinctively heard that door fly open and someone running through the building. I mean, full tilt running.
Wow.
It was.
Now, I will agree that I have actually heard footsteps in that hallway. And I'm going to ask a question. And maybe you guys can help me out on this and tell me perhaps I'm crazy. That's absolutely not out of the question as an option. I had gone upstairs by myself into the jail cells. And as I started down the steps to come back down to the first floor, another investigator came up and was like, "Were you up there by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Are you sure?" "Pretty sure I was by myself. I went up alone. I'm coming down alone." And so I stepped back up. And they're like, "Well, we're missing somebody." So I go up, looked her again, and now they're behind me. Don't hear anybody. Don't see anyone. We start back downstairs. I'm telling you, it felt like something ran up behind me. It felt like something was just like right behind me. And I turn around. I'm like, "I don't know who you are, but you need to back up off me." I could not see anyone, but you know how you just get that feeling like something goes,
oh yeah,
just right up on you.
In the downstairs cells on the women's side, where I used to keep my stuff locked up in there in that front holding cell because I have nothing else. Locking that up one Sunday, getting ready to leave. Sounded like somebody came run down the hall and just grazed my back, going around to the women's cells over there. I'm like, "You're sure in a hurry?" And there's nothing, and I'm the only one there. Like, shit, yeah, I guess it is time to go. But yeah, it's happened to a few people. It's happened to me.
Okay.
Well,
so Ryan, whenever you went, what was the area that you had an experience in?
I had my most experiences in the newer part of the jail, the little horseshoe area. If you're listening at the front of the jail, we'll annex to the left where the horseshoe area is on the left-hand side.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
back in the lounge in the kitchen area?
No, the newer cells, like not
the women's
not
cells on the outside of the building.
Is that the women's cells that are
the downstairs cells?
the part that was built in
the
part that was built in the 70s.
Yes.
That one.
Alcove there.
Yeah, and those are all women's cells, you said?
Well, to the right is men's, to the women's is right.
Okay.
And you have the 2 holding cells in the front.
But
right,
men and women were housed on both sides when need be. So
okay, so that makes much more sense to me about what happened, because I know on the left side where the women's cells were, there was a group of people, because I was in there with a group of people, and there were a group of people who decided they were going to stay. Once you make round the corner on the left-hand side, they were going to stay in that first cell where to the right there. And they would get activity I was kind of walking around, like making my rounds, like to the men's side and back to the women's side, like checking on people. And whenever I would leave the women's side, they would start getting activity on their K2 meters. But whenever I would come back around the corner, stopped completely.
They saw you as like somebody in charge, like a
I
correctional
guess.
officer.
I
Now, I'll
guess.
tell you that back cell back there,
Mhm.
on that women's side, on the women's side, on the
Mhm.
left-hand side, I don't like that last cell. That last cell
Mhm.
makes me very uncomfortable. It seems, I don't know, I expect somebody to just reach out and grab me when I walk by. I don't know why. Maybe they think I need to be in there with them.
But
Have
Yeah,
now,
y'all
I've
had
slept in there a few times. Lisa and I sleep
in that
on
back
the
cell?
men's side.
Yeah, but on the men's side, it's
Mhm.
quieter.
I've slept on both sides, but on the men's side, it's quieter. You don't have the street noise right there. But
Mhm.
we've slept a lot of nights down there. I had some freaky shit happen.
Yeah, we did have some freaky shit.
now
But I still like it.
that one cell on the men's side, didn't someone commit suicide in that cell at one point?
In both of those day rooms on each side, a
Mhm.
man committed suicide.
Okay.
Even though it was a women's side, it was a man that hung himself. That's the one I asked
Okay.
Jim. How
Yeah.
come I couldn't find it? I don't like paperwork,
Well,
Dara. But both of those day rooms had suicides in it.
Well, see, and that's the one on the right side, the day room on the right side is where we had one of those music boxes set up that shoots the beam out, and something has to break that beam in order for it to play. And we set
Right.
it right there on the table, like aiming towards the back of the room, the little table with the the chairs and everything. And no one was around that thing. And for the longest time, something set in front of there, and like we adjusted it and everything and then set it back down, and something was like breaking that beam and causing that music box to go in that cell. And we were getting all kinds of K2 responses in that cell as well. And I know that he wasn't there very long, but Henry Lee Lucas was held at your jail at one point, right?
He was there for like a day.
Yeah.
He had confessed to, and that's when Sheriff Dawes was there.
Yeah.
He had confessed to killing one of his female victims, was a woman that he'd murdered at a like a roadside picnic area as you come into Hallettsville from Schulenburg.
Okay.
So he was already in prison at that
Yeah.
time. So they brought him from prison with state police, and it was a big damn deal. And Bobby and Jim were working it.
Yeah.
And had him take them out to show where this woman's body was, which they didn't find, but they found later after the 81 pledge. It was up in a tree.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, he was there
Oh,
for a
gosh.
day,
Wow.
but was not
Well-
actually a prisoner there.
And what was interesting is because because I knew he had been there for a day. Like he was, like, I think was he held there overnight? Is that what the deal was?
I'm not
or
even
was
sure
he-
of that. I just know they brought him there and took
There
him
for
back.
questioning.
But yeah, because I
May
brought
have
up,
been overnight.
because I did bring up his name, and I was like, do you know who Henry Lee Lucas is? And then the K2 meter started going crazy, and like I did get that because I knew like he hadn't been there for a long time, and I was like, I continued that line of question. I was like, do you think that he was telling the truth? If you do, don't light it up. If you don't think he was telling the truth, light it up. And it lit up all the way to red. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
so
Blake,
like,
I'm sorry,
what's
go ahead.
that?
I was going to ask if Blake, while you're telling that story, if Blake had a picture of those outside cells, the women's cells. Do you have a picture of those, Blake?
I have pictures of the inside of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I
That
mean,
can
like,
kinda thumb through.
so yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Like I said, even though, I know he wasn't
Yeah.
like there for a long period of time, it was kind of interesting, that I got a reaction when I asked. Yeah. So yeah, like you see how that picnic table is. Like we had one of the music
Oh,
boxes
yeah.
like sitting on that picnic table, like aimed at the back of that room, and like it just kept going and going and going and going, and we couldn't figure out what was setting it off because there was nothing that was going to break that beam to set that
Right.
music box off. So
Yeah, we do know for a solid fact that a man died in a shower, allegedly hung himself.
So that's where I had most of my experiences in the jail, was in that little new area.
In the very beginning, that cell that you're talking about was so active for us. Andre and I would go in there. We'd just start doing EVP sessions, asking questions. Can you bang right here? I mean, right there. Just crazy stuff. And a lot of disembodied voices. We were in there one night, not in that cell, but the front holding cell as you come in the door, the one on the right going that way. Sitting in there doing a spirit box session or something. It sounded like the shower came on. Well, there's never any water in there since, the jail closed. There can't be. It's all corroded, and there is none. Lisa's husband replumbed it all. And the only place we have water in the jail is that
Bathroom in the back.
building. So, but it did sound just like the water was running. Wow. It's like you're taking a shower, and it was a female voice. It sounded like it was way up in the corner. Yes. All right. And I'm looking to see, is there any water in the shower? No. So it sounded so real, Yeah. It's like, oh, so now I got a, disembodied shower, and voices go with it.
So
but it was always an active place for me where they would actively respond to you and or start making noise on the other side as if to call you over there. Okay, I'm coming. I mean, there was just a lot of interaction down there. I mean, and there still may be. I just don't spend the time in there unless I'm mopping floors or something. But
so I'll speak on the sheriff's bedroom just a little bit. That would be another place. That's why I say I can't pick just one. And we actually have a really good video clip that I'm about to show everybody of what happened in there, but kind of let me set the scene because it's a 9.5 minute long video and I'm not going to show the whole thing.
You're going to show the good parts.
We're going to show about a 40-second clip of it. But anyways, so what is happening at this point is that me and another one of our investigators that's on our team, John, are in the sheriff's bedroom. And we had a couple of people in there with us, and we were asking questions. Now, we had set up my REM pod. We had a Boo Bear president. We had K2 meters, all this stuff. And we weren't getting just on one piece of equipment. It was as we were asking questions and getting yes answers and stuff like that. Like it was setting off multiple pieces of equipment at the same time. And so somebody ends up coming to look for us, and we hear them outside because we shut the door. And I opened up the door. And I peek my head out, and that's where this video is gonna come into play, just to kind of show you the intelligence that this place has. So let me get it up onto the screen real quick because I got to play.
I'm ready.
It through.
Let's see it. Let's see some spooky stuff.
Play it through the through YouTube real quick, and I will do that.
Go out and play.
Hold on. There you go.
It's just holding the REM pod.
Go out and go out there and close that.
Okay. I don't know why it's not playing. It just did that to me earlier. I tested it. Hold on.
Sometimes
get it going again.
YouTube has hiccups, and
I know.
Technology is great until technology is not great.
Well, tell the rest of the story. So obviously it begins to light up.
Yeah. So it begins to light up and all this stuff. And so what happens is, as I peek my head out, you saw it going crazy. I mean, it just starts going absolutely nuts. And I'm talking with the people who were looking for us and whatnot. And I told them, I was like, well, we're in here. We're in the middle. Like, we're getting stuff. Like, let us, give it a second. We shut the door back and everything goes silent. And John makes a really good point. He was like, I don't think they want you in here. And I was like, well, okay, because it's just me and you. I don't feel comfortable going alone, so I never feel comfortable leaving somebody alone. But John loves to be left alone.
And I'll leave your ass in a heartbeat.
I know you will. So I sat there and I looked at the REM pod and I said, look, do you want me to leave the room? Or do you want me to leave? I said, and I'm talking about the room, not the property. If you want me to leave, or I'll leave, but I need a yellow light. And I'm talking immediately. It comes back on green and it pushes over to yellow and it holds for about 10 seconds. Right after I asked that. And I looked at John and I just said, are you good? And he goes, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, all right, I'll be out here if you need me.
So go get out.
Well, and for me, that's very, that's just the level of intelligence that is there. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, it's one thing to set off the REM pod, but for it to set off the REM pod and hold it to yellow like I requested it to, without any break in between. I mean, it was immediately it happened after I set that. That's the level of intelligence this place has.
And it really is. I mean, they will play
astounding.
with you and play games with you and try to manipulate you. And you got to be on your guard there. And that's the truth.
Yes, it is.
Now it's interesting you say play games, because that was something that happened to me upstairs in the jail cells, and that little common area where the table is in the middle. And we took a deck of cards, and I decided we turn on the spirit box, let the spirit box play and see if we could play cards. And I was playing cards, and I like to play this game called, what card do I have? Where I randomly hand the card to someone, say, don't look at it, put it upside down in your hand. You don't look at it, I don't look at it, nobody knows what your card is. And I say, we're going to play a game. You can either tell me a color, red or black. You can tell me a number. You can tell me a suit, diamond, spade, club, or heart. Or you can tell me if it's odd or even. And I had something come through and say red, heart, and then it said 10.
Wow.
And it was just, and now it wasn't that quick. It goes red. And we're like, can you confirm? And it goes heart. I'm like, okay, that's heart. That's red. I'm like, okay, let's see what your card is. And before the person could turn the card over, they said 10. And I'm like, okay, so it's a 10, it's a red, or it's a heart. I go, you're trying to cover all your bases. Flips it over. Red 10 of hearts.
Wow.
That was so cool. And it did
Yeah,
it.
that's very
It did it one more time. Not that specific. We asked if it would call red or black. It called a black card, and we turned over. It was a black card. Now after that, it was like they were done playing, but it did come to that spirit box and give us red, heart, 10, and then it gave us called the black card that they had. So that one was really fun. And then after that, it was like, I'm done playing. There's no money on the line. Well, I don't even want to play with you anymore, So it's interesting you say they like to play the games. Go ahead, Blake.
Which is interesting because that's a technique we use at multiple different locations, Hill House Manor, Old Park Hotel, all these other different places that we try. Name the card for me. Name the card, and for it to do all three, I will say on screen right now, I can honestly say I've never had that happen. I've only had them call one of the three.
I've had a Jack Diamond called, and that was at the museum in Palestine. And then at Miss Molly's, I had them call 6 out of 7, but they either called the number, the color, or the suit. I don't think I ever got odd or even. They don't like to call odd or even. They'll call the color, the number, the suit. But I had them call one night at Miss Molly's 6 out of 7, right? But that means that they have to want to play. Mm-hmm. And there's something about taking a deck of cards up there with a bunch of inmates. I'm like, hey boys, let's play a game.
Oh, I know.
No, we're not playing strip poker. So get that out of your head.
We keep dominoes there. There's poker chips and cards, and we used to have some dice. Somebody stole them. But we'll go in there, not really entice them with card games, but we'll sit there and maybe play cards and just talk
run through their top list.
We always do. How was your day? When it was really fucked up. But we get a lot of stuff just hanging in there and talking to them like we would talk to you.
Or just listening to music.
I get so irritated
talking to each other.
Hearing people come, tell me your name. If somebody came up to you on the street in your face,
exactly.
Talk to them, probably not. How old are you?
Yeah.
When did you die?
And I do think people get caught up because they've seen something on television.
They've seen paranormal entertainment.
They watch Ghost Adventures.
They watch Zach, and then you're done after that.
And they and like that's what they don't realize. I think a lot of people.
You know who came to the jail?
Who was that?
Nick Groff.
Oh, did he?
I saw
Death Walker.
I saw that.
I really have a lot of respect for him. And,
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the real deal. If you want 100% reality TV, but real 100%,
and we were there.
That's your show. I mean,
we've turned down a lot of travel channel
amazing.
shows and stuff because I hate those people. And, I do. They're fake. They come in with their pre-scripted shit.
Yes.
They want me to
Remote
sign a
controls
contract.
for their REM pods and shit.
I need a team of lawyers to read. Or we're going to own all your stuff in perpetuity. I don't think so. Keep walking. Don't need the. I mean, the jail is always big. I don't need publicity. I don't need fake publicity. Certainly. I mean,
and we're not impressed by some big shenanigan. Oh, look at my trailer full of equipment. Nobody gives a shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Have you ever seen anything like this before in your life? Yeah, like yesterday.
Sorry, we're
I got more shit in that in my closet. So.
Nick Groff, I swear. Nick Groff, total real deal. I mean, like, amazing. Real investigating.
And we haven't even got to see. It's been released. We haven't seen it because it's only released on Discovery Plus in UK.
Yeah, but when he came, it was just him and his cousin. Just the two of them.
Two guys.
Oh wow.
That was it. I mean, there was no big, huge production. No.
I can't wait to see that then.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it either.
In the attic, we sat around the fire out back. We talked for hours.
I mean, like we spent 2 days with them, and then he's
I'm sorry, ladies. Where was my invitation to this?
Like, oh my God.
very hush hush.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I wouldn't have told nobody.
We couldn't
We
tell
couldn't for
we couldn't
almost
tell
a year.
anyone
So.
until he announced it that he'd done a show.
Which
there.
was like 7 months later. I'm
Yeah.
like, I had all these pictures in my phone. I'm like dying to post them. I'm like, come on, damn it.
Yeah, photos he did for us and did posters for us for the break room. Locked up in our bungalow.
Nude photos.
So I'm just tell them about that.
The special VIP package that we offer.
Go ahead and put me down for one of those, please.
Have you heard about our VIP package?
We're gonna be getting a call from Nick Gross people being like,
But yeah,
hey,
like,
you know what, honey?
Crazy
Let him
bitches.
call. I'll be happy
He
to
loves
talk to
us.
him.
We had a blast. We
Yeah.
really
good
did
time.
have a great time with him.
And
That's
he's
good.
promising us that soon it will be available in the U.S. So
Yeah.
good. I can't wait to see it. And
Great.
that's what we're saying. You know, people. I think people. You know, they get caught up in what they're doing and don't realize that they are talking to people. They're talking to people who still exist.
Exactly.
They just don't have a
no
physical body.
respect and
Yeah.
Right.
They won't do research on a location. They'll just script a show that has fuck all to do with the location and come in and do it. And we had a show there that, I know, we almost died, was operating a REM pod with a remote control.
I'm standing there like, are you fucking kidding me? I wish I had my phone on me. I would have recorded this shit.
Oh wow.
It was unbelievable. This guy
really
was a fucking joke. They were claiming that he was a psychic medium, but he wasn't at all.
Y'all know how I feel about psychics,
That
right?
they picked up on the way to Hallettsville. I mean, like, for real. It was
I told her,
joke.
if this show hits the air, I'm going to commit suicide because
Right
it was just
behind
so
you.
awful. Well, as luck would have it, I think we prayed about it and did a few ceremonies and put him in my freezer, but he got busted for drugs.
meth.
Oh.
Their whole show got scrapped. None of their episodes made the air.
Thank you, Jesus.
I said, see, there really is a God.
It was
and,
so much fuckery and fake
I said, never again.
bullshit. It was a week of hell.
It was
Oh
awful.
no.
But they catered food to us all day long.
Oh, we ate
good.
great that whole week.
I'm all about a good buffet.
Yeah.
At least you got some food.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
I
okay,
mean,
so time out. Now you have got to be, if you can't get there are certain locations that you walk into. You got to be a really crappy paranormal investigator if you walk into some of these and don't get anything. Like at Lavaca County Jail, they don't have to fake anything
no, they do
because
not.
crap happens there.
I've had people come in just with a recorder taking a tour and they're like, listen to this.
Yeah.
Not even trying, but
So
yeah,
how crummy were they that it took them a week and they felt like they had to, create evidence?
If you actually try to investigate.
Well, they didn't even try, and that was it. I mean, it was.
A lot of people come and say we didn't get anything. Well, they never actually reviewed anything.
And then the review and be like, "Oh, look what we got." It's like, yeah, I told you.
I know, but no, you will get evidence there. We've never had a group that has called and said we didn't get anything.
And I always tell people too, as soon as you arrive and we, if you've never been there before and we're giving you a tour, start recording and take pictures because so much shit happens when we're giving our tours. I mean, a lot of people end up hearing stuff. They'll get stuff on the recorders because,
even when it's not investigators, we're just giving a historical tour to people, coming in. And they're like,
I got choked during a normal tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're like, is this place haunted? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's like you decide.
Some people, you got to feel.
You don't know how they're going to go.
Because you don't know if they're there for the historical tour or if they're there for like the haunted tour. So you kind of got.
There's some people you least suspect that. Oh my God! Let me tell you, everything that's happened to me in my life that I thought was paranormal.
Yeah.
And they're just anxious to have somebody that would believe them, I guess, or listen.
We encounter that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
It's like, you're going to think I'm crazy. Oh, bitch, please.
Oh,
Like, no,
trust me.
Trust me. You're not going to tell me anything I haven't heard before.
Like you can't imagine. But yet, this stuff where we're talking about the interdimensional or whatever it is, that mind fuck shit that happens to us, that we really don't talk to people about because nobody would believe it.
Well, then we don't have, like, people are, I want to see the evidence. It's like, well, we don't.
So that's why I don't even.
How do you?
That's
we're not trying. When we're there working, we're not investigating. We're not trying. So the shit just happens and we just roll with it. So
everything that happens to us at this stage of the game, I mean, I've been doing this for like 45 years and
I'm 44 old. Now. I know I'm old as fuck. And I started seeing dead people when I was 11. So, I mean,
I've had enough things happen to me at the jail that I don't even care anymore. I just,
pretty much,
it's just a personal experience for us. And we're happy when we get them. And it was really neat. And I don't really have to share it with anybody. I'm not dying to make a YouTube video out of it.
I'm
that
not
would be cool.
No, I mean, and more power to the people that are. They want to prove, and they this and that. I'm not into it.
Oh yeah, do all you can.
Personal for me, I'm good.
Get some good evidence because I love it. But
now owning a haunted location, I am, because you deal with it on the day to day. I am curious because you do own a haunted location and like you have activity happening all the time. What is one other place that y'all have been that has blown your mind as an investigator?
Presidio La Bahia.
Okay,
Really?
Guys, we were
Really?
just talking about that a couple of days ago.
In Goliad. If you have not been, haunted Old Lavaca County Jail, that's your number one. Presidio La Bahia. Absolutely.
It's the site of the largest battleground in Texas, larger than the Battle of San Jacinto and the Alamo combined.
It was like
I'm not from Texas. I've been here for like forever now, 50 years. But I didn't know Texas history. So I didn't know all that until I started researching it the week we were going. But oh my God, you're in this giant fort where all this took place. There are Colonel Fannon's men and the graves and stuff there, and a beautiful church.
It is humbling.
It is just
beyond belief. And I mean, when I was there, I went with a paranormal team that I was with at the time. I mean, we did get stuff recorded and EVPs and whatever, but personal experiences, again, were mind-blowing.
I mean, we've heard like what sounded like troops of soldiers parading down a
horses and
people hear gunfire or cannon fire out there.
The sound of people climbing over the fences. I mean, it was just unreal.
Very cool place to go. Very beautiful place, a lot of activity, and highly recommend. Not outrageously expensive. They have a officers' quarters that I think sleeps 4 people or something like that. $250, $300 a night. They have an outside barracks that sleeps more people. Don't recommend it. It's hardwood beds, no doors, cockroaches as big as you've ever seen.
And mice.
No, thank you.
I unfortunately slept, but I mean, hey, it was all whatever. But it was very uncomfortable. I highly recommend the officers' quarters if you're going to go. But I think you can only have 4 people. So
I think so too. But
okay.
But if you go outside of Texas and you want to try something cool. Sauce furnace.
I would love to go there.
You been there?
I know. I really want to go. I would love to go.
Oh my God!
Great things.
We were there during the day, but
we had it to ourselves
and we're just roaming around. And,
God!
Yeah,
it was.
Love
Is that a cat up there?
Where?
I'm sorry, I have my glasses on. I can't see shit.
That's Chloe.
Well, you got to make sure it's not a spirit invading.
Yeah, right.
Well, sometimes there's raccoons and possums up in here, and I just
saw raccoons.
Something climbing.
We have 2 possums that live in the barn.
But yes, Lost Furnace. We had it. Pretty much the entire afternoon to ourselves. It is huge. Okay, you don't realize when you even get there how big this place is and how unbelievable, and it's underground and it's
above
all
ground,
these
underground caverns. Caves we went
lost.
into that we weren't supposed to be there.
Well, whatever. But
y'all are my spirit animal because I'm the first one to walk somewhere where I'm
like,
not
here, hold my
to.
phone. I'm climbing through here.
Yeah, we can get through that. Yeah,
but it was, I mean, I know there was, how many of us went? 5 of us?
5 of us.
And we all kind of like split up.
Went our separate ways.
And went our separate ways. And I mean, I know.
I was alone for a long time.
I was lost. I was so scared. It felt like I was.
I had been alone for a long time
hours.
when I found you. And I'm like, oh, Lisa. And she's like, oh my God.
I'm like, I don't know where I was. I've been in here forever. It's like, that place tags every single one of your senses. No, every one of your senses. I mean, you can see the workers. You can hear it. You can smell it.
And I didn't know the history of it either. And there was a lot of slavery. They had places
amazing. I mean, my hair is
slave
standing
slip.
up thinking about it. It was
Just truly amazing, awesome place.
unbelievable.
And what a photo op! Just taking pictures of all that old equipment and still there.
Yes.
It's just really, really cool.
And it
You
was
can climb up
amazing.
towers that nobody's supposed to if you're slick. And
Or
we're slick and
fast.
We're slick and we're fast and we're little. So
Get down.
there's a camera.
It was on South Pittsburgh Hospital that week. And
Yeah, it was freezing.
Sloths and
Wow.
yeah, it was 20 degrees.
Oh, and then we went to this Bear Creek swamp. We drove through this swamp and it was crazy. We were getting we're ITC researchers, so we kind of do like weird shit.
So we did
you
this
know.
experiment with a radio and a ghost box and driving through the swamp.
And two different cars and seeing
cars.
if we got this
Similar stuff
on the ghost boxes, but what we were getting sounded like this
Demons
demonic
from hell.
fucking shit.
And they were getting like, oh yeah,
birds and
nothing.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting.
Are you hearing this? Yeah, we hear it. I don't think you do. No.
It was
You ain't
crazy,
hearing
but it
that.
was like
And we
20
did it like
miles
twice,
long. And
going
you're in
and
like
coming
the
back.
middle of this swamp. And we
Oh,
went
it's
at
like
night.
you're waiting for the banjo. Deliverance Country.
We all had like 3 guns each.
I'm
It's
like,
like,
what is
fuck, man, what the hell?
wrong with us? No, we can't hear it.
But there was like old Indian shit going on back there too. And then we had this
Oh, wow.
owl that kept like following us
We
around.
show up everywhere we went.
And then we went back to our lake house, which is like 30 minutes away, and there was an owl sitting there. It was like, so I had to get an owl tattoo. It's badass. I gotta take my pants off and show them. You want me to take my pants off and show them?
No, you're not. Not in front of grandma. Mm-mm.
Might be 18 and plus, but we are still on public
Sorry.
domain.
Yeah, just stop it.
It's on my leg. Behave. No, but that was cool. Alabama's a fun place to go. So,
Awesome.
Good.
other than,
We have to get out there soon because that is one
That
place
does
on the
sound like a
list. Is
plan.
Sloss
We
Furnace.
we always like to ask other paranormal investigators and other people who are proprietors of haunted locations, where do they like to go besides their own location? And
Yeah, I was
so
strung
Blake-
out like a big dog on Myrtle's Plantation for years.
Oh,
Every year I love that place. And I haven't been there in forever since it became more commercialized. They had a bunch of cabins. It wasn't any fun anymore. But yeah, cool place. Where else in Texas have you guys been that you thought was outstanding?
We have been to Yorktown Memorial Hospital between
several times.
I
We
think
got
close to 50 times.
I've been to
between
Black
all of our
Swan
people.
Inn.
Yeah, cool
We've all
place.
been to Old Park. We
Old
love
Park
Old Park. Old
is-
Park. We got some crazy stuff at Old Park.
Beach Army.
The Beach Army Hospital, which you can no longer get into, and that's at Fort Walters in Mineral Wells. Out of state, we've been to Ohio State Reformatory, West Virginia Penitentiary, Bobby Mackey's, Waverly Hills. Gosh, I can't even remember all the ones in Texas we've been to. We've been to a lot in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
We have been to a lot.
Of course, the Old Lavaca
Yeah.
County Jail. We've been
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there.
Which
I've
we
been to a lot of
got
places
to
I
get
forget
back there.
about.
Yeah, we got to get back there. I think that's what we should do.
yes, you do. I
Yes, you
agree.
do.
Before
Absolutely.
it gets too hot.
So how do people get in contact with y'all if they want to?
We have a Facebook page, Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail. The first post on the page has a booking link where you can go and pull up the calendar, see what's available. Now that I'm living here close, the calendar shows you Thursday through Sunday's available, but actually every day can be available. Just shoot me a message.
Well, hell.
Either on there.
We work for you.
All right.
We aim to please here at the Haunted Old Lavaca County.
We do a lot of filming, and a lot of those people, I mean, not like paranormal stuff, but independent films. Somebody needs a prison
Music
setting,
videos.
heavy metal music videos. We've done, I mean, we do everything. So a lot of those people want to come during the week, which helps us. But every day is available. Just shoot me a message. My actual personal cell phone number is on that page because I don't care. I have
Mine's
nothing to
not
hide.
because perverts.
Yeah, if you're young and pretty, and I'm old and wrinkly, nobody wants this. So, but I have my.
I do.
So the best way to get in contact with you is to go on your Facebook page and click on the link to book it, and they can book it. And if there's a different day they want other than Thursday through Saturday, they need to give you a call or shoot you a message through Messenger, correct?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. If they don't have Facebook, you can go to Google Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail. It will take you to Rita Inc. and their booking link, which is actually the owner of the jail. So
Do you
We
have
go
a
through
price
that.
range that you feel comfortable giving us so they can go see it there?
We overnight investigations, which are 13 hours. We kind of made it longer. It used to be your arrival time was 8 o'clock at night, leave at 9 in the morning. I don't like to drive after dark.
Nobody wants to
I
see a
like-
location in the fucking
You don't wanna
dark.
see
You
a
want to
location
set
in
up
the
in the
dark.
light.
So
and-
we're very flexible about that. If you want to come 5, 6 in the evening, we go meet you there and give you a tour and give you a backdoor key, and we're gone till the next day. You stay till 9 in the morning. It's $300 for up to. On our site it says 6 people, but we stretch it to 8 sometimes. We just don't have 8 beds for people to sleep in, so you're on your own there. A weekend going from Friday afternoon to Sunday morning is $550.
So you get a discount if you book the entire
You get
weekend.
a $50
That's good to
discount
know.
if you book the entire
And
thing.
you get the daytime activity,
Yeah, oh my
which
God.
is crazy. So,
True.
you know. And then also Hallettsville, I mean, it's an old town and it is a very cool historical town. We have some amazing back roads, some old cemeteries.
Ryan knows all about that back road.
Oh, yes, I
John
do.
Right. Woo! John Hutchins, who was one of our sheriffs, he's buried in a cemetery not far from there. So I mean, it's
We're
really
blocked from the
cool.
town square, and it's really cool. It's all
It's
historic buildings.
beautiful.
There are restaurants, Flamingo Froyo.
The hanging tree down the road.
Hanging tree down
I mean,
the road.
there's
lots of
all
other
kinds
stuff to see there. If you want to come out, hang out for a day, but you're 5 minutes from everything that you need. Walmart, Dollar General.
And we've got a full kitchen. Well, mostly a full kitchen and a
We don't have
barbecue
an actual
pit.
oven, but we have a convection oven, microwave, refrigerator.
You got a fire
barbecue
pit out back. You can go roast your weenies
Yes, we
outside.
do. We have a
We have
fire
roast
pit.
So
Yeah.
I can get Froyo and see a ghost. I'm in. All right, y'all.
Absolutely. I'll go get Froyo with you because I'm telling
All
you.
right, let's go.
That's my favorite shit. It's a date, me and you. We're
All right, let's get some
Froyo.
Froyo.
And they sell food too. and
Ice cream
everything.
on me.
All right.
No, I'm paying for it. That's what I meant.
No ice cream on you.
No.
Well, Mr.
I
Blake,
really
do you
regret
have
inviting you to this show?
You're out.
I knew it was.
Mr. Blake? Would you like to start to wrap us up here, and this way we'll let these nice ladies
Just
get back
kick
to
us
their
out and tell
life.
us to go away. We'll go.
No. We have done our time.
We have enjoyed having you
We've been
on.
to
That's
other
right.
places than
We
that.
really have. We really have.
We figure y'all have better things to do.
We have been
Well,
from
well,
podcasts.
I was gonna
Seriously.
say, I think we could
I
wrap up the
know.
portion with them, let them go, and we could just wrap up the episode. I mean, we're almost done, or we're pretty much done anyways.
Get
We
them
do
the
our.
fuck off of our show.
No, that's not what I'm
Like
saying.
saying.
That's not what I'm saying at all. No, we really do appreciate y'all joining us. I love learning some of the things that I didn't know. I cannot wait to get back.
And it's
to
fun
it.
for us to
So-
hear about the experiences that you guys have
Yes,
had.
it
is.
So many of which we've had the same ones.
Yes,
you know?
we
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not
And,
Yeah.
and we'll have to have y'all back on again sometime for sure.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
I think we're going to have to
Anytime.
come down and investigate, and then we'll
Yes.
do a after
go.
investigation one again.
Yes,
Mhm.
I think that's
That
a
is
great
right.
idea.
that would be
Absolutely.
perfect with me.
Before July. It's
Yeah,
July.
Yeah.
We don't have air conditioning. It's hot.
Yeah.
It's limited air conditioning.
Yeah, I've
Oh, I
been
have
there
this
in
to see.
August. Yeah, I know all about that no air conditioning
Yeah.
bullshit.
No, just kill
Mhm.
yourself instead.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
And this is how we're going to get kicked off this podcast. You're telling people to kill themselves.
Nah.
What the fuck?
I mean,
All right.
we said worse.
That's right. That's fine.
We kind of have.
Yeah.
Well,
We
Deborah,
love you guys, and we appreciate it very much.
yes,
And
thank
Oh,
y'all so
thank
much
you.
for joining us. I appreciate y'all's time. And like Shelly said, once we get back from investigating with y'all again, we're going to have y'all on again. And who knows? I kind of like the sound of that whole weekend idea. So we might be.
I do
doing
too.
that
I do
guys.
too. That's
entire
awesome.
weekend.
You'll have a
So,
Oh,
blast.
yeah.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And you don't have to rush or hurry up and get stuff done because you only have a limited amount of time. You kick back, relax, take a nap.
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
awesome.
Exactly.
Go.
I'd be
So much
taking it in
better.
my
And we'll
car. I've
extend
already
those
proven I
hours for
can't
y'all.
sleep there.
Oh yeah, you guys are good. Yeah, longer time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Definitely.
Well, we appreciate y'all, and we're gonna be in touch whenever
All
we need
right.
to
Sweet.
Thank you.
to book something. So we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks so much for joining us.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Roland.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Bye,
We
y'all.
appreciate
Bye,
it.
guys.
Bye.
I'm going to tell you that Lavaca County Jail is crazy.
It is.
And they are so much fun. And I am so grateful that they came on to talk to us
Me
and be
too.
part of that. Now,
They're
there
a
is one
hoot.
thing.
They are
Oh my
such a
God,
hoot
they're
and a
so much
half.
fun.
Oh,
my
yeah.
I told
gosh.
you
They're fun.
guys.
I
told
can't
you
wait to
guys,
have
I'm
them
like,
back on. Are you kidding me?
oh yeah, I can't wait. So there was one thing. Did you have the outside picture? Because I'm not sure if it was in the
Yes,
trailer or
I
not.
did.
The outside picture of the actual building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can show that real quick.
Yeah. Like when I rolled up on it, I was like, "Is this it?" I'm not quite sure. Like you have to.
It's not as big as you think it's going to be for being a jail.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. Like you said, when you roll up on it, you're like, okay, that's not what I envisioned. Because to me, it looks like a Victorian
Looks
house
like a church.
almost.
It looks like you're rolling up on a church.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were some people found some religion in there and everything, but you know, you can turn me loose. I found God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
As they pull the lever on the gallows and they go straight
right.
down.
Yeah. that was something that I meant to ask about and I neglected to ask about was the gallows part. And I do understand there's quite a bit of activity over the gallows location. But I didn't get into I guess because I didn't know exactly where the gallows thing was. I can't say I got activity there or I didn't. But those women's cells on that extended part, that's the part that creeps me out, that very back cell on the left-hand side. Don't like that one. Don't like that.
I didn't get much in that one. The cell beside it. That's the one.
See, and I was scared of that last one. I'm like, not today. Not today, Satan. Not gonna happen.
But we do got to get back out there because it's been a minute, and I would like to get back out there, man. And I do, like you were saying, that whole weekend deal sounds like the way.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yes,
I am absolutely agreed. And if you want to book the haunted Old Lavaca County Jail, you can go to the Facebook page, and they, as Deborah said, they rent it out any day of the week. You just have to message her. And $300 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
$550 for the weekend.
$550 if you want, the weekend, Friday night and Saturday night.
That's what.
And guys, I'm really thinking that's
in the near future.
Yeah,
in the very near future.
I'm looking at what time it is, and can we get it booked tonight?
I'm like, well, let's see here. We got 2 weeks in March that we don't.
We do have 2 weeks in March that we don't have an investigation planned. Ryan.
So
yeah,
who knows?
Okay,
might be going live from the haunted Old Lavaca County Jail pretty soon.
I would be in for that.
Well, y'all, we hope that y'all enjoyed Deborah and Lisa on here. We had a blast having them on here. We hope to have them on again. Thank you again to Deborah and Lisa for joining us. We appreciate y'all joining us for another episode of Everything Vaguely Paranormal. Please do not forget, we are across all social media platforms. We are not just on whichever one you're watching us on. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and we use all different social media platforms for different reasons. So please go follow us across the board because you're going to catch different things on different profiles that we have. And Shelly, tell them how else they can join in on the conversation.
And if you want to know what we really talk about, go sign up to be a Patreon member, because we do a 30-minute pre-broadcast before we ever go on the air. When we talk about, I'd like to say we talk about the show. Not always talking about the show, but if you want to know, you can see things like spirits. Which now you hush. If you want to hear some reviews from Ryan's, or have a drink with me on Spirits with Shelly, or hear a bedtime story with Blake, you can get that on our Patreon account.
Which, by the way, I bought something specifically yesterday at Walmart to film a review. I'm gonna tell you what it is here, and then you'll get to see me eat it on Patreon because I'm not happy about it. I'm not.
Don't tell us what it is then. Don't tell us what it is. You finally went and brought that dildo, didn't you?
Oh, God, no.
And that is what you get on Patreon. Like just fell out of the chair. I think we broke Blake again. So Ryan, what else? How else can they get to see a little bit more? I embarrassed myself. Look, I'm blushing.
Yeah, so you're turning all 10 shades of red over there.
That's because I'm picturing you making that purchase and the sales lady looking at it.
Behave yourself, Shelly. I wore my natural hair for this shit tonight.
I love it. Well, how else, Ryan?
Anyways,
okay. Please go on Apple Music and go on Spotify, rate and review us, boost our signal. And if the more signal is boosted, the better content we can bring y'all, and the more we can focus on bringing y'all the coolest and most awesome content we possibly can. And I believe, also, we still have tickets available for our in-person investigation. Come to the Gregg County Historical Museum
in Longview, Texas, March the
Longview,
12th.
yes.
Starts at 7 p.m. all the way until 3 p.m. in the morning, and you will be
3
with
a.m.
us.
3 a.m. not
Sorry,
3
3
p.m.
a.m.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. in the morning, and you will be with us learning tips and tricks and techniques of how to use our equipment and all that stuff. All you need is yourself, an open mind, and a good spirit to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. And their
And
tickets
bring no
are
snacks. I'm not feeding you.
the tickets are very limited. So
they are.
We
they
have,
are, and we're about halfway through them right now. So we only got half left, and we've got 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left, somewhere in there.
3 weeks
2
left.
weeks left.
Yep,
2 weeks
yep.
left.
Yep.
2, 3, something like that.
So y'all come join us again. Thank y'all so much for joining us this week. We will see you next week. For myself, I'm Blake Smith. This is Shelley Pruitt and Ryan Roberts. We will see you next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.
Hi, guys.